I was just my mother.
Really?
Okay, cool. Alright, let's start. Don't let me.
Really?
Yeah.
Take your time.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Oh. See, it's handy that I was stalling.
Okay.
We're ready for class today.
Who knows what she's doing? I can hear Kelly in the background there.
That's dirty.
Today is stretch and strength. A little bit of strengthening, a little bit of stretching. We're going to start on our feet today. So we're going to work with legs a lot.
You're gonna start on your feet today.
So we're going to ground on our feet today. So just starting to feel your feet on the mat. Peel up your feet one at a time. Pedal out your legs. Really start to feel your feet on the ground. And then tap them. Tap them. Start to feel your feet. Land in mountain pose, so comfortable position for your feet, soft knees. Connect your breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. A couple of times. Bring your prayer to heart, hold here. Option to close the eyes. Start to feel your feet on the ground. Pick up your toes, wiggle your toes. Soft feet, soft legs, soft low back, soft shoulders, soft face. Find your breath. Perhaps even taking the moment to say to yourself, I am here now. Really landing on the mat, nowhere else. Not worrying about yesterday, not going through your to-do list. Promising yourself that you're going to have a physical, mental, energetic experience on the mat today. If your eyes are closed, gently flip them open. Start to bend the knees a little bit at a time, nice and slow. So bend the knees, lower the hips, starting to feel the legs. Notice what starts to tighten when you do this. See if you can keep it out of the low back and all in the knees. All in the legs, sorry. Not in the knees.
You want it in the knees.
I know. Start to feel the muscles of your legs. If you're ready, start to peel up to the balls of your feet with your knees bent and then lower back to mountain.
Oh, I have no idea what just happened.
Ooh, something weird just happened.
We are possibly still live though, it's just in the corner.
It looks like it's still live. I'm not really sure what's going on, but we're still there. All right. If you're ready, bring your heels up, hold. So hold here. Try to feel like you're squeezing your knees in and pulling them apart. So using both inner and outer thighs. We're going to start to lift and lower the hips just a little.
Now start to fall.
Start to get longer in the torso. Start to imagine you're really using those internal muscles close to the spine to get longer. Hold. Woo.
Don't look at me.
Arms can be out for balance. Hold. Knees in and out. So nice and slow and controlled. Knees in and out. Lower the heels, mountain pose. And we're going to rock back and forth. So peel up the toes, peel up the heels, peel up the toes, peel up the heels. Watching not to lock the knees, but just moving through the feet. Nice and slow with control. So rock, whoop. And then rock side to side. So we're going to take the weight over to one edge and then the other edge of your foot. Rock the weight on your feet. Find your stabilizer muscles.
I don't think we're live.
I think we are.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know what's going on.
Anybody's guess.
Anyone's guess. Find mountain pose. Connect to the breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. 3 times. Bring your prayer to heart. Hold here. We're going to start to pull up our left leg into a balance. So pull the knee forward first, wash the hips. So pull the knee forward, strong, active leg. Lift the knee higher, 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 higher. Keep the hips even. Hold here. Pull the heel in and out. In and out. Try to keep the hips steady. Little soft bend in the right leg.
Maybe strong on my feet.
In and out. We're going to start to work through the hips. So holding the legs strong, we're going to take the left knee all the way out and behind us, all the way back, mountain pose. Lift it up all the way out, all the way back, mountain pose. So start to be fluid. Feel your own hip, maybe starting to lengthen the leg. One whole breath sends the leg back. One whole left breath sends the leg forward. Whee. And lower, mountain pose. Find your center. Start to peel the right leg up, knee forward. Don't move the hips, strong leg. Pull the heel in and out.
I have no balance today. It's because you made me start on my feet.
And then we're going to work with the hips. So strong leg, up and over with the knee behind you, and then all the way back, balancing.
This class is just us falling all over the place.
All the way up and back, and all the way forward. You can tap the toe. You can lengthen the leg. You can find whatever position with your arms helps you balance.
My leg. That's pathetic. I need to get up more.
And then back, mountain pose. Connect to your breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart.
What was it supposed to be doing? I have no idea when it was working. It was just me falling. I don't think I worked anything.
To mountain pose. We are going to take a step back with the left leg, pyramid pose. So find comfortable position for knees, hips, ankles. And we're going to start to tilt forward with the torso only until we start to feel the legs. So looking for engagement in the legs, hold here. If you're not feeling this soft bend in the front leg, you can peel up the toes, the front leg, maybe bend the back leg and sink the hip. So imagine you're really pulling from the heel all the way up to the right glute. Breathe and hold. Lower the toes if you lifted them. Pyramid pose, regular pyramid pose. And we're going to go up to the balls of our feet here. So slow and with control, lift the heels and lower. Lift the heels and lower. Keely, can you go ahead? Remind me later on the computer.
Please. I don't think we're live anymore. Live video ended.
It's okay, we're live on YouTube.
We had people watching. They were watching when I was cleaning my mat. Oops.
Lower the heels. We're going to come forward on the front leg, pick up the back leg. Start to bend the front knee a little. We're keeping an eye on our hips, peel up the back heel. Strong leg. Push the heel long and strong. So whole leg is nice and long and strong. And then we're going to tilt forward. Warrior three. Nice and slow and controlled.
I stopped my toe falling that time.
Slowly lengthen the torso. Pull the left heel past the right. Long, strong leg. All the way forward. Pull it up. Hold. Lower and tap it out. I don't know. Inhale, arms overhead. Huh?
Your computer's possessed today.
Exhale, bird hard. Step the right foot back, pyramid pose. Set up your base first. Find a position where you can feel your whole leg without compromising the low back. Maybe peel up the front toes. Maybe bend the knee and the back leg and sink the hips just a little. Wherever you're at, regular pyramid pose, and then peel up the heels and lower. Try to do this without locking the knees. Long, strong, controlled focus in the legs. Back to pyramid pose. Weight onto the left leg. Slowly bring the torso over the left leg. Peel up the back heel. Push through the back heel. Nice and long in the leg. Slowly tilt forward. Warrior three. Lengthen through the torso. So push through the crown of the head. Slowly pendulum the right leg past the left. All the way up. Pull it up and hold. Really use top of the thigh, not the hips. So hips are even, steady. Pull the thigh up. Breathe. Woo. And then lower. Connect to your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, bird hard. This time bring your prayer all the way down through center, forward fold. Let go of the tension in your head and your shoulders. Grab a block just to help support your upper body. And wiggle your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Why are you glaring at me?
It wasn't.
So we're going to pivot on the heels and work with stabilizer muscles. So holding onto your block just to give your upper body some stability. You're going to turn your toes in and toes out, pivoting on your heels. Toes in, toes out. Really trying to find
What are you laughing at?
the computer.
It's like doing things on its own.
I know, it's really spazzing. Find your stabilizer muscles.
Is my back a stabilizer muscle?
No. Inside, outside leg. Back should be soft. A little bit of attention in your stomach to try and keep your back supported.
It's like that. That's a genuine question. Oh, cracked me on smile. That was nice.
Bring your feet back to parallel bend in the knees. And this time we're going to peel up the heels. You don't have to peel them up all the way. Just peel them up a little bit. Soft bend in the knees. This time we're going to pivot on the ball of the foot. So pull the heels in and then heels out. So a little soft bend in the legs. Slow, controlled movement. Lower the heels, forward fold, and option to use the block a little bit further ahead, lengthen your back. So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen from the hips to the shoulders. Maybe a soft bend in the knees to give your lower back some more space. Lengthen, 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 and then peel up the heels and lower. So as you're lowering, thinking about pulling from the calf muscle down, lengthening the back of your leg. Pull up and lengthen, pull down nice and slow with control. Slowly lower the heels, forward fold, touch the ground, step back, down dog. So find a down dog. Move around just in any way that feels right for you. And then find the stillness of down dog. Find your breath. Turn your world upside down. Find a position that you're sure is comfortable for your arms and wrists. So maybe you need to adjust today. Take your hands a little wider. Give yourself some more space. We're going to be here for a little bit and we're going to focus on the legs in this pose. So we're going to bring our right foot a little bit closer towards our hands, just a teeny bit. And we're going to pick up the heel and lower on both legs. So again, thinking about pulling from the calf muscle. Lengthening the back of the leg. Watch for too much movement through the hips. Really want to think of from the glute down, not through the lower back. Switch legs, so right foot goes back to neutral, left foot comes a little bit forward, lift and lower. Left foot back, and we're going to step our right foot forward a little bit, turn the toes out. Left foot forward a little bit, turn the toes out. So, V-shaped down. What is this? V-shaped down dog. So from here, see if you have a little more space for the lower back. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, depends on your body shape.
I don't like this.
Pick up the heels, lower the heels. Pick up the heels, lower the heels.
It's too reminiscent of Malasana.
How'd you know where it was going? And then we're going to bend the knees, look towards the hands. Right foot steps just outside right hand. Left foot outside left. Slowly lower Malasana.
Wow, what a great way to get to Shavasana, huh?
I mean, like the class has barely started. But okay. So, holding in Malasana, find this position where you're still active. So your legs are still strong. You're not just hanging out in the joints. Find and hold. We're going to move through our Malasana. So, pressing through the heels, strong legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, curve through center, back down, Malasana. Inhale up. Exhale, lower, slow and strong. Bring it down, hold, option to lift both heels. Boop. Hold strong. And then hands touch the ground. Slowly lower the heels, lift up to a forward fold. So forward fold with your feet a little bit wider. Change it up a little. Let go of the tension in your head and your shoulders. Bend the knees, inhale, rise up, arms overhead, exhale, purr to heart. This time we're stepping back with the left foot and we're coming to triangle legs. So right foot points forward, left foot opens up, so hips are open. Triangle legs. Long and strong in the torso, not locked in the right knee. So pull up first. Legs strong, right arm comes over, push over, hold. So we're holding the torso up, long legs, lifting. Slowly lower the right arm, peel the left arm up. And we're going to use the left arm as a guide, but we want to think about moving the rib cage. So rib cage lifts up and down, up and down. So think about reaching in both directions with your arms, extending the rib cage, not locking the legs. Inhale all the way back, reverse triangle. Slowly come back, neutral, turn your feet the other way. So out the other side, set up first. Strong legs, long torso, left hand reaches, float over. So strong in the torso. First, hold, long, strong legs. Left arm tips, right arm reaches up. And then rib cage moves up and down, up and down. Inhale all the way back, reverse triangle. Torso back to neutral, toes out, heels in, bend the knees, goddess pose. So find a goddess that you can hold strong, both legs strong. And we're going to peel one heel up at a time, nice and slow. And then if you're ready, peeling both heels up at the time. Slow lift, slow lower. Staying focused, staying strong.
You know what would be funny? If your computer is fast and landed the Facebook Live and we're streaming in 360 right now.
I don't think so, but then again, I didn't check that carefully. Hold here. If you can, lift the heels, hold. Breathe strong, hold, balance. Lower the heels, slowly star pose. Turn the heels in, turn the toes in, grab your block. Forward fold. We're going to forward fold here. Find your breath. Take it static or little movements. Bend the right knee and slowly bring your block in front of the right foot. Bring your weight onto the right leg, peel up the left, hold. Really kicking through the left heel, so really strong through the left leg. We're going to take the left leg back behind us and then peel it forward. Strong leg. Trying not to move through the hips. So not moving a lot in the lower back, trying to use the muscles of the leg. Bring the heel, even with the right heel. We're going to lift and lower. Lift the heel, lower the heel. Land the left leg. Bring your block over to the left side. Start to peel up right leg. Press through the leg, long leg. Peel it all the way behind you. And then forward.
was not doing that.
Even with the left heel, lift and lower the heel.
Yeah, I was doing that. I'm just backwards, whatever. I'll do this.
Or for Kaylee, just do your own thing.
I swear I heard you say lift and lower before, but I guess I just wasn't listening.
Lower the right heel. Block back to center. Forward fold. Find your breath. We're going to work through standing split. So wiggle your feet closer together. I'm going to turn so you can see. You're going to wiggle your feet closer, about hip width apart. You're going to bring the weight onto your left leg. Send your right leg back, heel back. Take your hand, right hand, feel your hips. Notice if this right hip popped up and open, maybe your hips are not even. Come back to stand. Feel your hips. So feel your hips neutral and even. So when you reach back there, they should feel even. Be able to imagine putting a bowl of soup here and you wouldn't spill it on the back of your hips.
Mine would be all over me. I'd have first-degree burn.
Okay, it's gazpacho. It's cold soup. Don't worry about it. Ice cold water, and you don't want to spill it. All right, now without spilling your soup, bend the right leg. Send the heel slow, slow, slow behind you. Controlled. Toe down, heel back. Lengthen through the heel. Check on your hips. Did you spill your soup? Start to send the right heel. Longer, 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 longer. Press through the heel. Start to get longer in the torso. Think about getting longer in your spine. A little soft bend in the left leg. Slowly. Huh?
A lot of lengthening.
Slowly bring your torso towards the left leg. So you have your block. Use your block for support. Try not to open up the hips. Really try to come forward. Standing split. So, it's not that opening your hips is bad. It's just this is the pose. Hips are forward. From here, find your block wherever you're at. Lengthen through the right leg still. Challenge, peel up the left heel.
My legs are
Lift it
cold.
over.
Can we sit down now? Awesome.
Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And then if you'd like to go to our challenge, you're going to lift the left heel.
This wasn't the
Slowly pull the right foot through. Come to pistol squat. Slow with control. Lift up the right leg. Hold. Bring the right foot even with the left. All the way back up to a forward fold. Guess what? We only did one side. Alright, so holding your block. Find your hips, see if they're still even. Left heel goes backwards without the hips moving. Don't drop your soup. Start to lengthen through the left leg. Press through the heel. Get longer in the left leg. Longer, longer, longer. Start to lift the heel without moving the hips. Check in. Watch your soup. Slowly bring the torso forward. Heel lifts. Forward, forward, forward. Torso forward. Heel lifts. Get longer, longer through the legs. Longer in the torso. Breathe.
Lengthen everything.
Using your block for support, slowly peel up right heel. Strong legs, both legs strong. Don't get lazy with the left. Still active and strong. And then for the challenge, pistol squat. Lift right heel, slowly pull left leg through. Sink the hips, pull up the left leg, and come to balance. Slowly place the left foot next to the right. Balls of the feet lifted. See if you can start to lift your hips up off the balls of the feet. See if you can start to go up. So lift the heels. Huh?
I said I'm good.
See, lift the hips off the heels. See if you can balance nice and slow. All the way up. Lower the heels. Mountain pose. Connect to your breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, curl to heart. Hold your heart center. We're going to go into tree pose. So, maybe paying attention to our hips. Keep our hips even. Start to bring the weight onto the right leg. Bring the left knee forward first. Strong leg. Place the left foot on the shin. Press the shin into the foot into the shin. Have that counterbalance first. Then heel the knee open without moving the hips. From this position, maybe lift the hands. If you feel super strong, super balanced in this pose, challenge is to bring your hands to prayer, or approach your forehead and close your eyes.
How? Are your eyes closed right now?
Yes.
You're crazy.
Slowly release the left foot. Start to balance on the left. Knee forward first, strong leg. Pull your knee forward. Hips are even. Place the foot on the shin. Shin presses into the foot, foot presses into the shin, then open up the knee. Breathe. Arms up. Challenge. Close the eyes. Prayer to your forehead. Connect to this point on your forehead. Close your eyes. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe.
Where at the left, I am at the right.
Wherever you're at, land in mountain pose, hands at prayer. Notice how it feels to stand on your own 2 feet. Notice what is different from when we started. So wiggle your toes, bend your knees, feel your hips, your feet, your legs. We're just going to work through the shoulders just a little, thinking about loosening and softening. So we're going to do backstroke with our arms nice and slow, as if you're trying to unwind any of your day-to-day patterns.
Unwind. We're unwinding to Malasana.
Bring it back to neutral. Right arm touches left shoulder, left arm touches right shoulder across the body. You're going to work with upper back circles. So round down, elbows come towards your stomach. So think about making a big hunch in your upper back. And then take a soft, slow circle in your upper back. So think about trying to move in every direction your upper back can move in. Back the other way. Torso neutral, let go of your shoulders. Pick your shoulders up, drop your shoulders down. Take your hands, wrap them behind. So right hand wraps around, grabs left hip. Left hand wraps around, grabs right hip. So crossing behind you. press your hands into your hips. So lock of the shoulders, take chin down towards the chest. Now take the head in a really slow circle. Slow as you can, careful and mindful. And then back in the other way. Head back to neutral. Switch your arms. So your arms are crossed. Switch which one's on top. See if you can switch which one's on top. Same thing. So head down, slow circle. See if it feels different. Back in the opposite direction. Head to neutral, right ear to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. Head to neutral, release the arms, flick it out. Inhale.
I was a little behind, my circles took too long.
Overhead exhales, one, dive it down. Option to come through pistol squat, so lifting your heels, lowering, coming on up. If you want to come all the way down to a seated position already, go ahead. From here, see if you can pull up one leg at a time. So all that leg strength, see if you can pull one heel forward. Switch. And then the other heel forward. See if you can do it. Tricks for that. Come on down to a seated position. Start to feel your hips. Tricks are that if you hollow out your stomach, take that strength in your stomach and your chest. You can balance a little easier. Legs out in front. Wiggle the legs. Slowly shake out the legs. Loosen. Stop.
Sleep talk during meditation again.
Point the toes. Push the toes down towards the ground. Pull the toes back. Watch for locking the legs. Heels down, soft knees, torso strong. We're gonna pick up the glutes. So hands can come out, hands can come to prayer. You're gonna pick up one glute at a time, walk backwards on your mat. Pick up the glute. Let the legs be heavy.
I'm wrinkling my back as I walk.
Other way, so go forward. Legs are heavy, glutes are moving. Take the feet a little bit wider. Glutes pick up and lower. So left glute, right glute. Squeeze and lower. Lift. See if you can just isolate the glutes. So pick it up, lower. Left, right. Okay, just the glute. Left, right. So not this.
You just. I do not understand.
Left, right.
How?
Left, right. Left.
No, how?
Glute, squeeze it.
Yes.
Left, right.
Yeah, it doesn't lift.
Yes, it is.
It's not coming off the ground at all.
I know, it's lifting up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Down. Left, right.
I can squeeze my glute if that's what you mean. Squeeze left glute, squeeze right glute. You're saying lift.
I don't mean like pull hip off the ground. I mean lift the glutes. Lift it. You're lifting it. It's coming up. Right? That's the definition of lifting. Like in the torso.
Just say squeeze your glute.
But that could mean like squeeze it with your hand. Lean back, not so that you roll onto your lower back or your sacrum, just enough to give your legs a little bit of space. Lengthen, squeeze the stomach muscles. Feet are going to come in and out. In and out. Squeezing the stomach, lift and lengthen. Lower the feet and slowly make your way down to your back. We're not going to Shavasana yet, but we're getting close. Bring your knees in. Find your back on the ground. Find your hips on the ground. Take your feet to the ceiling. Start to think about long legs. So see if your legs feel a little bit longer. Maybe bring the right leg towards the nose and lower the left. Maybe you can reach for the toes, yogi toe lock.
Excuse me.
You can hold on to the shin. Slowly switch sides. Return the left leg up. Hold the shin if you can't reach the foot. Don't strain yourself. Slowly lower.
I will not accept defeat. I got really unflexible. Remember when I could do splits?
That was a long time.
It's painful now.
Slowly return the right foot. Option for yogi toe lock or holding the shins. We're going to open up the legs. So open wide. Find the position that works for you. So you can hold your shins. You can move your feet, point and flex through the feet. You can hold on to yogi toe lock and bend the knees. Move through the legs. Just find where you seem to have holding patterns and what feels right for you. You can also just hold it static if that feels good. Breathe, start to slow down.
Holding a static feels great.
Meaning when you were in like this?
Yeah.
All right, bring your knees in. Take your right knee over your left. Feet come towards opposite shoulders. So think about breathing into the right glute space.
Best stretch ever.
Slowly unravel, switch sides, left over right. Slowly unravel, bring the feet down to the ground, knees up. Take a little side sway with the knees and the legs. Just starting to feel your hips on the ground. Noticing what is present. Take both knees over to the left, thinking about the right knee coming towards midline. So maybe wiggle the foot out on the right, just letting that knee come towards the midline, feeling a little opening on the top of the right thigh. Watchful, so don't push the right knee down heavily and take all of the force and tension into the knee. Think about opening the top of the right hip, So think about this space right on the top of the thigh here. You can actively press down through the right heel to give yourself a little more space so the tension is more through the top of the thigh rather than towards the knee. Slowly bring the knees back through center. Slow, mindful, with control. So when we move through these angles and are not paying attention, that's when injury can happen. So pay attention. Bring your knees all the way over to the left and wiggle around until you can feel it on the top of the left thigh. So giving the top of your left thigh some space. Maybe pressing down a little into the left heel. Slowly, knees back through center if you have a block. Option to place the block just below the knees. So narrow side in between the legs, just below the knees, feet on the ground. And we're just gonna place, make sure our hips are even on the ground. Place our hips on the ground. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze the block. And then thinking about keeping this squeeze. So feet are firm on the ground. Everything is engaged. Legs are engaged. Whole leg is engaged. We're going to take the knees a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Just a little teeny movement. Trying to keep the legs super engaged. Watch for any holding patterns in the neck. Rib cage stays down on the ground. Squeeze the block. Squeeze the block. So just a little quick reset here. Bring it back to center, release the tension, switch the width of the block, squeeze the block. So we did a lot of moving through the hips, and sometimes this can throw off our balance in our SI, our sacroiliac. So we're trying to do a little quick reset just to make sure. Squeeze the block, wide side, feet on the ground, firm. Hips on the ground, rib cage stays on the ground, knees move left to right. Teeny, 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 teeny controlled movement. Squeeze the block. Think about squeezing it more with the inner thighs. Maybe even imagining shooting through the glutes. So you're shooting strength from your hip bones all the way down to the heels. Squeeze the inner thighs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This should feel like work, even though it's a tiny movement. And then let go. Release the block. Knees in towards the stomach. Give yourself a little hug, maybe rock it. And then make a decision for where you would like to be for your final resting pose. Coming down to the ground and finding a way to be soft. Release tension, starting to let go, land on the ground. So, this is not where we started. It's the first time that we've really come to the ground this practice. Start to land on the ground. Is it a little easier or a little harder to come to the ground this time? Start to take a couple of long, slow breaths in as if you're drawing in fresh breath and releasing tension with the exhale. Maybe even taking a moment to say to yourself, all of my needs are met. starting to loosen and soften and release into the ground, allowing the ground to support us. So today's practice was a little bit of lengthening, a little bit of strengthening, mostly focused in on the legs, and then a little bit of a pretty pose. So standing split, it lengthens the back of the legs, but there's plenty of other poses that lengthen the back of the legs. Standing split is one of those poses that is a challenge. It's hard. It's also one of those poses that makes you feel kind of pretty, long and pretty, and it's like a dancer pose. And it's not that we avoid doing poses because they make us feel pretty. It's not that we should never have our ego in our yoga practice. It's that we come to the mat to learn about ourselves. So we learn when our ego is the one controlling the show, so that we know what it feels like when the ego is the one controlling the show. So it's not that we should never do a pose that is purely for our ego. It's that we do it so that along the way we learn the things that our ego tells us, especially if we're starting from fresh. And we haven't tried this pose before. You get to hear all those little stories that our ego has for ourselves. Maybe, oh, you're not this, you're too much that. All these little stories that the ego feeds us that we tend to just take for granted. We just hold it in, we let it inside, and we keep it there. So in some of these prettier poses just for challenge, just for learning and fun, we get to hear what we have to say to ourselves along the way. And then we get to hear when we get towards the end of the journey. There's never really an end, but towards the end of a pose, a journey on a pose, we get to hear what the ego has to say when we're successful. So I firmly believe that that our ego is part of us. It's one of those layers, and it's not that we get rid of it. It's not that we need to crush it. It's not that we need to be completely without the I within us. But it's that we need to get to know it, incorporate it, be comfortable with it, get to know when it's out of balance, just like all the other layers. So taking a moment to perhaps think about some of those stories that you might have been telling yourself as you went along your balancing and lengthening journey today. We did a lot of balance challenges. We did a lot of leg challenges. And were some of those stories at all helpful? Did you sound like your very own cheerleader? Or did you sound like an inner critic? And wherever you're at on that journey of learning the pose, can you be compassionate and supportive with yourself the way that you would with a toddler who is learning to walk? Think about how much comfort it would be to have your own best friend within you, supporting you, encouraging you, helping you along, holding your hand when you need it. And then soften, 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 quieter, quieter, quieter. As if you're looking for the sound of your own heartbeat, drifting away from the layers of the thoughts, the layers of ego, the layers of breath and energy, towards the sound of your own heartbeat, getting softer and softer and quieter and quieter. Release more tension from the face. Release the tension of the jaw. Soften around the eyes, the neck. Soften the palms of the hands. Soften the soles of the feet. Soften the glutes. Soften around your digestion. Imagine your stomach and your muscles and your organs involved in digestion are free to move, free of obstruction. Imagine a freely moving, soft torso. Let go of the tension held within the torso. Make room for your breath and your organs. Let the ground support you. If you have the time to take, spending time softening, loosening, noticing when your mind has pulled you off the mat and beginning to soften all over again. Please take all the time that you need. If you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, you're going to start to bring gentle movements to the fingers and toes and slowly make your way over to a fetal position on whatever side is calling to you. Take a moment to land in the fetal position. Think about returning to some of those stories that you perhaps noticed. Maybe some of those inner critic stories. And think about leaving them on the mat. Think about leaving the things that no longer serve you right here on the mat. Imagine come on up to a seated position, hands apart, heart space. Imagine being softer, lighter, longer. Take a moment to honor your own inner wisdom. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much for joining us.